Hey, Nelson, alcoholic addict. That is not my real name. That's my pen name here at LOL Sober. My daughter graduated from middle school a few days ago, and the principal gave a quick speech before she started introducing the kids. And the point of her speech was that, yes, it is insufferably hot in the gym right now, and yes, it is way too crowded in here, but that we should all rejoice in this moment because most people do not often get a lot of applause moments in life, and that these kids earned it, they deserve it, let's cheer for them. And when she said the thing about how most people don't get a lot of cheering and clapping for them in life, I thought, geez, we got to get this lady to some 12-step meetings. we got a lot of it over there, you know. I've written about anniversaries before, and I've heard a few people over the years make the case that it doesn't say anywhere in the 12 steps and 12 traditions that you should get a coin and a round of applause for celebrating lengths of sobriety. And most meetings that do celebrate, they say it's not a tradition of the program, it's a tradition of this meeting. So I get it. I get all that conversation. I find it interesting to actually hear that out. But me personally, I love anniversaries. I just remember how much getting to 30 days without drugs and alcohol, how much that meant to me. And then it was everything I hoped for, you know? I was going to big meetings in New York City at the time, so it was about 50 to 100 people cheering and yelling for me when I got my coin, and it was a nice little incentive for me. It really mattered. I still have it. It's been 13 years, and I kept that thing, you know? And let me tell you, looking back, I needed the applause for that first year or so, because one of the things I saw in my life is that when I told everybody I needed to go to rehab, they were so happy. They were so excited for me. And then everybody in my life was happy and excited that I had 5 days and 8 days and 10 days and 12 days sober. They were really, really happy about all of that. But I did start to find the pink cloud of that rehab trip. It started to wear off for people around me too, not just me. You know, I actually found that I hit more speed bumps in my relationships at maybe the 3 to 6 month mark than the 3 to 6 week mark. That was still definitely pink cloud territory. But I think what happened is that once the sheer joy of seeing me try to get sober, once that wore off a little bit, I think a lot of people in my life started retracing moments. Some stuff came back to them where I'd obviously lied to them or hurt them or stole from them in the past. And it was starting to get unpacked in their brains. And, in the workplace, I was surrounded by very kind and understanding people who cheered me on when I said I needed help. But I also had been basically a no-show employee for a few years already. And now I told everybody, well, I need to go every day to rehab, and I'm going to try to figure out how to actually do my job. And that was hard on other people too. Like, yay, good luck, man. And then it's like, well, I still have to do this guy's job because he's not going to be around. And it was hard, you know? So I'm not complaining. That stuff needed to happen, and I'm glad it did. It helped me stay sober. I didn't want to have to go through it twice. That's the thing. It's like, okay, you clean up this mess. Like, don't spill it again, dude. My point is, I sometimes had quite a few people outside recovery who loved me a lot but didn't like me that much on a daily basis. And so to have a room full of people in recovery who were cheering me on, no strings attached, no baggage, no backstory filled with pain and lies, I needed that. You know, I always knew I could turn toward that group to help me with every other group in my life. And I also love that at meetings, you'll be at a meeting and somebody will celebrate 24 hours sober, and then another person will celebrate 2 months sober, and then another person with 3 years. And then it's cool when there's somebody there that has like 27 years sober. And I think it's important, that we celebrate all lengths of sobriety, because we have all different people coming in to the rooms, all different stages. And when I had a month, it really helped me to see somebody get 3 months. When I had a year, it really helped me to see somebody get 5 years. It felt like felt like they were standing there in front of me and helping me see the next stop on this long journey of sobriety. And it reminds me of one of my favorite sober jokes. I love this one. It's I'll just tell it to you. A guy walks into his first 12-step meeting and is introduced to 3 sober people. And he says he has 1 day sober, and then he asks the first person, "How long have you been sober for?" And the lady says, "I've been sober for 10 years. And the newcomer says, "Wow, that's great. That's fantastic." And he looks at the second person and says, "How long have you been sober for?" And the guy says, "I've been sober for 5 years." And the newcomer goes, "Man, congratulations. That's awesome." And then he asks the third person, "How long have you been sober for?" And the third guy says, 8 days. And the newcomer goes, "Oh my God, how the hell did you freaking do it? 8 days?" I love that joke because I identify with it. I identify with the idea that at a certain point in my recovery, it was easier to imagine 10 years sober than 10 days sober. Like, that's how daunting it is, or was for me at the beginning. Sobriety can be a real grind no matter how much time you have, so it's always good to see that, the cash and prizes of our program, which is a coin that's given out for free. To go back to what the principal said, I think she was right. How many standing ovations do most of us get outside the rooms of recovery? For me personally, it is not that many. It's not like I take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese and everybody stands up, stops playing video games, and cheers for me. And it's not like I pop on my work Zooms and there's no cheers for sure. Maybe an awkward wave or two, but there's no standing ovations. So when people celebrate anniversaries, I clap my ass off. They earned it, and I want them to just hear the power of a sober group, which is a substantial amount of power. So thank you so much for letting me share.